Pathway families. Thank you to Ben for taking us through ways that we can take productive pauses to be with the Lord through spiritual disciplines and by getting away to be with the Lord. Today we are going to cover one more form of taking a productive pause, quieting our souls. As parents, we are used to noise. From the moment we hear that first scream when our children are born, we realize life will never be the same. And one aspect of change that we see is noise. Our kids bring chaos into our world. Whether it is crying, laughing, asking questions, or asking for snacks, kids are not quiet. But I want you to consider what you do when things are quiet. When you get a chance to be in the car by yourself or the kids are in bed, in those rare moments of silence, what do you do? In most cases, I would guess that you gravitate towards the distraction of noise. You turn on music, a podcast, a TV show. You see, we are generally uncomfortable with silence. I love to hike, and I have observed lately that I rarely see other hikers without earpods in their ears. We gravitate towards noise even in circumstances where we could enjoy silence. Recently, I gave up noise for small periods of time during Lent. I committed to sitting in silence, not just to be weird and sit in silence, but for the purpose of connecting with God. I didn't have an agenda or a purpose. I simply wanted to be with Him without the distraction of noise. Often I would begin this time by reading a psalm, and then I would commit to 5 minutes of silence where I meditated on the character of God I saw. Now, 5 minutes might not seem like a lot of time, but for someone who is used to constant noise, it was. In fact, 5 minutes felt incredibly painful at first. But this discipline of silence is beautiful, and I love the idea of just coming to God without any plan or agenda on my end, and just listening and reflecting on who He is. I can't say that I heard from God in any particularly moving way. There were some moments where I spent the entire 5 minutes trying to stop my mind from wandering. But overall, the practice of silence is one that I want to incorporate more into my life. So the next time you have a moment of alone, take a productive pause of silence. 5 minutes is a great place to start. Come before the Lord without expectation or things that you want from Him and just be with Him. Have you ever had a moment with your kids when they remind you that they love you? Maybe they're playing with friends, but they stop for a moment and just throw their arms around you for a hug. Or maybe they write you a sweet note. We love it when our kids delight in us. How amazing is it that we serve a God who longs to be with and to dwell with His children? He delights when we pause to be with Him. When we remember that He is our source of strength and we can find more production through drawing near to Him in a moment of silence than in powering through in our own strength, He delights to draw near to us. Productive pauses are never unproductive. In fact, they are the opposite. They provide the rest we need to have healthy souls that work to bring glory to the God we serve.
Thank you, Jenna, for that message. And thank you for joining us for this week's episode of Fridays Are for Families. We place a high value on discipleship, specifically at home, because we believe that strong disciples are made at home. And that is why we have a heart to do what we can to empower and equip you to grow as a disciple of Jesus yourself and a disciple maker of your kid. If you have any specific requests for information you would like to hear about, we invite you to share them with us, either by commenting on this video on YouTube or Facebook, or by emailing us at family@lifeatpathway.com. We look forward to seeing you next week.